What's going on today, Maureen? It's been a quick minute since I have done a tour of the urban homestead, basically 4 weeks, because I've had a lot of things going on in my life. It's been kind of a 7-month, almost 8-month nightmare with my provincial government, and you can hear more of the details if you look back at my live from July 19th. I go into a bit more details, so you can check out that and see just what's been going on. You know, and the thing is that whether or not you have things going on in your life, the garden still needs to be tended to. And I've been doing bare minimum of tending, so not getting the feeding out, but trying to keep it watered, trying to keep things picked. I'm just so grateful that the garden, you know, does kind of sort of take care of itself, because Mama needs all the help she can get. One of the cool things though is squashes. I love the squashes, and I'm going to be showing you those towards the end, because those are just things that make you feel like you are a gardener. They just show up and then they just produce. You will not believe how gorgeous the squash look out in the front. Hang on, it's going to get gorgeous. I'm going to show you what's growing well, and you know, stuff that's, you know, kind of just, you know, kind of chugging along as we go through the garden. I'm going to show you my successes and my fails, both of them. I have no problem confessing that some things just don't want to grow for Mama. While we go along, I am going to be doing quite a bit of picking. I've been holding off on some things just because I wanted you to see them. Actually, I want my mom to see them because I want her to see how good the garden is looking this year. You know, you guys just get to come along, but all the videos are for my mom. I've been itching to get these poppies out, which I can see I'm dropping the seeds are dropping right down. I had a Jamaican sorrel in here and a few other things, but these poppies, I don't know where they came from, but they were really pretty, and they were just these little kind of pink flowers at the top, and I thought I'm gonna let them grow. But they need to come out and put them someplace that I want to put them. How they ended up here, I do not know. I just took a couple of them to be in here, and then I've got this beautiful pot of poppies, but I would rather use this pedestal for something else. Oh yeah, there's one outside there. I'll come back through and clean this out later. But I have a feeling that this is the amaranth that I have over there. I'd planted a Jamaican sorrel in the center, and then kind of amaranth along the edge, because I was wanting it to be, you know, Jamaican sorrel and amaranth. Not thinking that the amaranth would take over the whole container, but it does, because I've got one over there. So that could be amaranth, so I might just leave that amaranth in there. So here is that amaranth. I bought this kind this year because I just thought it was so pretty. I don't remember, you know, what the cultivar is called. But the 3-tiered garden is showing up and looking great. No, I still have not thinned out the carrots. But I did pull all the radishes, and then I tried to put some beans in here, but the ladies, they decided to come out and dig some of them up. My tomatoes, not the best this year. They are producing, finally, but usually at this point, I should just see so much greenery up at the top there. But one of the issues that we've been having here on Vancouver Island is we get these gorgeous warm days, and then the nights they drop right down. So it'll go down to like 13 and 12, which is about 55 Fahrenheit. And so it's like the plants just don't know what to do. It's like during the day, like, oh, let's grow, let's grow. And then nighttime they go, oh, let's go dormant. And so I think that that's one of the struggles. And also the fact that I have not been doing my weekly feeding schedule. That could also have a play in this, but I'm gonna go with the cold nights. You know, our goal this year was to have plentiful of the tomatoes, but not so great. Swiss chard is looking great. And those proprietary sweetie cherries, they are starting to color, which is great. Let's just go look at the front here at my peppers. This is the first time that I've grown the sweet pimento peppers. They're supposed to be a little bit heart-shaped, and I don't know if they're supposed to be this big, but look at this. This poor plant is just loaded. It's got 7 peppers on it. And we're gonna let these ones go to red, and then I'll probably end up pickling them. There's another one fruiting there. This is my California Wonder. It's got a 1 pepper on it, but it's also got a little hole in it. My California wonders, they don't get wonderful. But there is fruit on them all here. But as I said, it's been a kind of a crazy year, so I'm dealing with that other stuff with the government. So some of my grand ideas of getting produce into people's hands and mouths didn't quite work out so well. Beside the amaranth, we have the hyssop, and it is beginning to flower as well, so I'll be able to get some anise seeds. It's just smelling wonderful. We're gonna slip up here to the peas. Now peas are ready, finally, but I planted peas in here 3 times before they finally took. And so, you know, being July and I'm now just gonna start picking my peas, that's a bit of a sad story. In front, I've got Jacob cattle beans, and these beans are gonna be brown. And so there is some beans in there, so that's great. The columnar apple tree is still doing fantastic. If you have a small area or a patio, you can put a columnar apple tree in a pot and grow it. And like, the apples are just so beautiful and prolific this year in this tree. This is a different variety. I'm not sure if these ones, if they're gonna end up staying small like this. I'll have to look that up. The Honey Crisp, he's still doing it okay, hanging in there, but they're not getting big either. Again, could be lack of food. The plum tree, look at this gorgeous thing. I grew that from seed. I'm just so impressed with it. We'll head up to garden bed number 2. Oh yes, this is one of those things that I need to get picked. So these are white kidney beans. They are starting to flower, haven't fruited. Oh no, I do see some. I've got some storage onions, so it's kind of like I planted some, and then I've got some more storage onions here. I don't know if my Hungarian jalapeno has done okay, but we've got some cauliflowers that we need to pick, so let's get those done. This one here, he's looking gorgeous. I'm actually gonna just pull him right out. Look at this. He's just beautiful. I need the hori-hori so I could cut their stems off and leave their roots. These leaves will be gorgeous for the chickens. So we have 3 to pick today. And I just put, yeah, this one I think he got left a little long. This one I can sort of cut and then just give it a pull. He probably got left a little long, but you know, in a soup or anything like that, he'll be absolutely delish. Let's see if I can just use this as a saw. Oh, that sort of works. Give him a couple of twists, see if we can, there he goes, and he released. Just look at that, so gorgeous. The pickling cukes have started giving us some cucumbers. I've only picked one, but I think when I first planted there was about 13 pickling cukes all the way across. But that rabbit kept coming up and digging up their roots, and so I lost many of them in the war. There's another cauliflower that will be building itself up, and there's a couple more. Cauliflower season isn't over quite yet. I'm excited about these storage onions. It'll be great to have onions that, you know, will last throughout the winter. And wait till you see my onions in the front. I have never grown onions this big. Now, granted, they're not super big like they should be, probably due to lack of feeding, but nonetheless, I'm growing enough onions that will be great for our salsa that we'll be making up. Kiwis are just clustering. There are so many this year, so very exciting about that. Pear tree, even though we didn't prune it for the last 2 years, it looks like it's putting on some really healthy pears. Another pickling cuke, yes. So I do have pickling cukes in here. This yellowing, I did just give them some poo-poo juice, so I'm hoping that we're gonna see that gets better. Oh, I do see another one that got overripe, darn it. Cabbages, we're starting to get some heads, which is great. Purple cabbages, not doing so great, but they don't get a lot of sun there. The Espalier apple tree, looking really good. I don't have my organza bags on them. I just haven't gotten around to getting them. But there's some gorgeous apples right up there. The turkey fig is looking great. Great big figs on them this year. and you know, probably a good 20 or so on there. So this is my cucumber row, all goes along here. We've been picking, you know, 2 to 3 cucumbers probably every couple of days. These plants do not disappoint. Lots of cucumbers in here. They do need a little bit of a pruning. There's some, you know, another 2 here. They're doing great. This is my Jamaican sorrel from Tigsy. It's, you know, doing okay. It should be a whole lot bigger than that, I know, but it got transplanted a little bit late in the season. Nasturtiums happily reseeded themselves all over my garden. And there with the broccoli, it's finally coming up. Normally we would have already had broccoli picked, but I'm not disappointed. It's gonna be coming. I did pull out all that suchoy and I planted some beans in there, some bush beans. I can't remember if those are the pintos or the kidneys because I could not get them to grow out at the farm. I also have more storage onions in here, and the green beans on the poles, those ones are finally starting to flower. Again, very late. Normally it wouldn't be this late. The thornless blackberries, I have one here and one across here, just getting ready. Probably could be picking some of those. They look gorgeous. My little medicinal shade garden, it's doing okay. Again, not a lot of sun goes on in here. I did have some tomatoes that were left over, so they got plunked in here, and I'm pretty sure they're all just the little sweetie cherry tomatoes. I just couldn't let them go and put them in the garbage or the compost, so there is space in here, so that's where they are. Going to our patio. Lettuces are looking okay. But, you know, it's the heat of the summer. Lots of the herbs need to be picked. We've been picking them, like taking the cilantro, even if it has seeds, and chopping it, washing it, and then putting it in the freezer. But lots looking good. Lemon or lime tree, I think it's the lime. Lots of fruit on it, so that's really great. I've left them over here. The other lemon trees that are similar to this one that I planted from seed, they're looking gorgeous. Maybe I'll give you a shot of those. So just our few pots of basil there, and this is the lemon, and it does have fruit on it. So that's it for the backyard. I'm pleased with many of the things that are going on here, but I'm excited to show you those squashes. Every year of gardening always has its challenges, good, bad, and otherwise, whether it's because of pests or lack of water or too much water or not enough sun, all of those things. And then also there is personal crisis that goes on in your lives, and you still have to navigate forward with success. And I'm so grateful that my belief in God is what has sustained me to actually be able to keep going forward as I process through this whole thing. So whether it's a garden crisis or personal crisis, we keep going. Humans are absolutely amazing, resilient people. Over the mid-yard, oh, my zinnias, they look great. Note to self, plant way more zinnias in here so that it fills it up. It'll be fantastic. It'll look gorgeous, Maureen. We are late picking the lavender, but picking it nonetheless, we will get done. But maybe when it's cooler, as the bees are still using it right now. Looks fantastic. Apricots are ready, so I am going to be picking those. Peaches are still peaching out. My moonflowers, this is the nicest I've ever seen it get up this high. There's one on each side. This side is not as big, but I am really hoping that we're going to see those moonflowers. And unfortunately, you missed seeing the magnolia flower, but there of course is another one that's coming. It's been so wonderful. My office space is right there behind that window, and when the fragrance blows, it's been wonderful for me to be working in the office with the scent of this gorgeous magnolia. I am so grateful for it. The farm stand is open, and so we've been getting some sales, which has been wonderful. One of the things that went on this year was that my email transfer address was not correct, and so people were sending money to nobody basically. And the other night there was a person who came and said, hi, back in June I bought 2 raspberries and 1 cucumber plant, and you never received the money. And so she left the money in the cash box, which was very, very kind of her. You know, it's just like when people honor the honor system, It just gives you a good faith in humanity. I decided that I would go across the street so you could see this. And 4 weeks ago, it was looking pretty good, but this is off the charts. The Georgia Candy Roaster, this is the showstopper for this year, which is very exciting. And apparently they've got a long way to go, but wait till you see the fruit, what's been growing. It's quite amazing. Pretty sure that, you know, these grow in leaps and bounds every single day. So we've got one big fruit there, and now this one, he's coming up on size. So it is stretching out to the road. I have a feeling it wants to cross. But I did start taking some of them and wrapping them around the bowl, but again, they're coming out. It's just fantastic. The volunteer barrage, thank you for coming to bring over the pollinators. The yams are looking beautiful in this bowl. So let's continue on and see what else is growing in garden bed number 1. We have been picking the zucchinis, and this one is called a bush zucchini, and so far it seems to be staying put, which is great. Right in front of it, we've got a Carnival, and he's already getting his color and everything. Usually these seem to take a long time in my garden. And then I think there is another one coming there. And then this one is popped right up on top of it. So that's great. I think I see another one. Yeah, another little baby there. So my compost soil has lots of goodies in it. So in here, we have volunteer tomatoes, volunteer datura right here, possibly a volunteer tomatillo, which looks really hardy, or it's a ground cherry. It looks really hardy to be a tomatillo. And then one random corn. Hello. This bed has my regular onions, leeks, and then a semi-sweet pepper. But check out the onions. Look at that. It's growing beautifully. I've got red and white. I think these ones, some of them are Alyssa Craig, and then the other ones I'm not sure. The leeks, I have some early leeks in here. They're looking great. Like, you know, this one here, you know, it's getting to a decent size already, where usually they, you know, they take me months and months before they get to a good size. I don't recall what it is, but I just know it's a semi-sweet. So yeah, we are a little on the crowded side in here. Look at that. Onions and peppers really love to grow together. That's why I did that in there. I'm super pleased with the onions turning out this year. And so you go, we will have plenty of onions to add to our salsa. And I'm pretty sure that this year, every bit of the salsa will come from the garden, as long as those California Wonders kind of, you know, kick it up a notch. I'm so grateful that we did this little trellis here for the spaghetti squash, because it's way out of control, as they always are. But I wouldn't have had any space for them to grow anywhere else. So this has worked out beautiful. But they are just coming on strong. Like, look at the size of that. He's just massive. Just gorgeous, you know, and there's plenty on here. I do need to come up and, you know, give some supports, especially for that big one over there. But look at this one. We have what I would deem as a ripe spaghetti squash already. That's just, yeah, that's pretty firm. So, and then when you look at the coloring compared to the one beside it, it's like, yeah, we're ready to pick that. That's gonna go to my mom. The next 2 beds, you know, it's a little bit exciting and a little bit overwhelming all at the same time. So we did plant some Hubbard squash in here, but we also planted them there. And so this Hubbard squash right here decided to jump up on the spaghetti squash trellis. Oh, this one's dead. We can take you, you don't have to be there. But this plant as well is attempting to cross the street. We've got a small one coming here. Mind you, he doesn't look the healthiest there. But we have more down here. So that's another big one, and one that didn't get pollinated. But this bed also has Hubbard squash. So we have one here. But also in this bed, we have the kabocha right here, which he's looking awesome as well. Not ready. Another Hubbard here that comes from this end one. And another big one that's closer to the bed. Now I believe that my cushaw from Broke Farmer should be here, but so far I'm not seeing any fruit on it yet. A zucchini that really needs to get picked. And then there are the pumpkins. We only have, I think 3 or 4 sugar pie pumpkins so far. So the potato bed, we are hoping that we will be picking the potatoes out of it this weekend. The grapes, of course, are absolutely wonderful and full and full and full of lots of fruit. I've got my mango melons there from Tigsy that are on this side, and my watermelon, doll baby watermelons, and they're just, you know, slowly chugging along. Our potato here that's growing just in the middle of nowhere, he's still doing okay. But my garlic bed did not get picked. Those potatoes there, those are all volunteer potatoes from growing potatoes over the last couple of years. But in ground here, that's where all the garlic is. I never got around to it, nor have I gotten around to picking all the bindweed. But I might still pull it out because it'll still be viable, or I could just leave it in there and it will self-seed itself for next year. They will be in clumps, but that's quite okay. I haven't quite made that decision, but I would like to get the potatoes up out of the potato bed and restock it with potatoes that we can pick in October. They won't be really big, but they will be fresh potatoes anyway. I really appreciate you spending the time to watch my videos and cheer me on, laugh with me, and get angry with me when there's slugs and rodents that eat up our goodness. And the next video will be touring the farm, which again, I have not seen in over 2 weeks. My daughter has gone out to do a little bit of maintenance and a little bit of picking, and so that should be a very exciting video to see, because I have no idea how things are, or, you know, and what needs maintenance and what needs food and water and whatnot. Anyway, I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care. God bless.